Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the PB&J Ballers podcast. As always, I am your host, Pete the Rock, all decked out in my Raptors gear. And we have our boy Jazzy Main. Say hi to the
Yes,
folks, Jazzy.
sir. In the building. Let's get
And
it.
we also have two guests of the show. We got Hilm PD, aka Petey, the wrong, not Peter the Rock, who's still Petey, and we have Lance, aka Scarborough, aka Lance. Say hi to everybody, boys.
What's
What's
up?
up?
All right. Before we get started, let's introduce our guests. We'll start with Petey. Petey, give the folks a little bit something about yourself. Favorite team, favorite player, what they need to know about you.
Favorite team, Chicago Bulls, diehard. Been there since Ben Gordon was putting up 30 on scrubs. No, I'm playing. But um, and my favorite player right now, definitely gonna have to be Patrick Williams, because Summer League hype is legit.
Ooh. Don't
Yes,
worry,
sir. He's been
don't
looking
worry. We're
good.
gonna get to that, Petey. We'll get to that. And let's talk to Lance. Come, Mr. Scarborough. How about you, sir? Introduce yourself.
Well, I like the Heat. I've been there since before LeBron, so I'm not a bandwagon, but really all there is about me. Just want to win some games.
And I'm gonna start with that though. So a good way to start, Lance. Good way to start. So, for anybody that is a longtime viewer of the show, you guys know that I am a Raptor hard diehard through and through. I'm wearing the cap today. I got my big face Toronto Raptors white jersey that I can finally fit into, boys. The grind is real.
Detroit basketball.
Yeah, honestly. So I don't know if you guys saw Goran Dragic was part of the trade deal for Lowry to go to the Raptors. Or to
Yes,
go,
sir.
yeah, and it's a sad day for Raptors fans, right? Kyle Lowry is considered by every Canadian to be the best Raptor of all time and the greatest Raptor of all time. And we got a package deal where sign and trade led to Goran Dragic and Presta Achua. And Raptors fans thought it was okay, it's not Lowry,
She
but
was a
it's
nice piece, I would like to add.
exactly.
I said that.
He was blooming in Miami.
But here's the problem. Goran Dragic, who again, English is his second language, but that's not a reason to say what he said. Quoted saying
Whoa, whoa,
Toronto.
whoa.
Mhm. Oh, it's no. Again, I know you're joking around, Jazzy, but he quoted saying Toronto is not my preferred destination, and I have higher ambitions. We'll see. Is that uncalled for? Let's hear the opinion from the boys. Do you guys think that he should have kept his mouth shut, or do you guys give him credit for being honest?
Yes, I feel like the Heat fans should answer first, personally.
Yeah, seriously. Scarborough,
I
what do you
mean,
think?
at least he's honest. Y'all know what he wants, and he knows what he wants. But I kind of don't want Lowry in Miami. I feel like we're paying him too much, really.
Uh-oh.
But that's my opinion.
That's all right. What do you, boy, Jazzy, PD? What do you guys think about the comments made by Goran?
Honestly, I kind of understand why. Simply for the reason that he's kind of on the back end of his career, but still borderline all-star. So I get that he wants to win now, but I don't think he should disrespect the Raptors like that, because they are not. I don't think they're gonna miss the playoffs next
Yeah,
year.
and I'll
The
give up.
real, the real question I really want to know is where does he want to go? I
And
could see
that's
him being real good with a team like the Clippers. Like that would be a solid fit for him. Maybe not necessarily the starting role. He might have to accept like a six-man role, but he proved, like Petey said, he's borderline all-star. He's been having great seasons with Miami, but
yeah,
I don't know why he's not as accepting to go into Toronto, and I
yeah,
guess he just doesn't view them as a contender as much.
yeah. You know what? We're giving up a number seven to get a number seven, right? Like number seven in Miami's Goran, number seven on the Raptors was Lowry. And you know what? In my opinion, like you're looking at a Raptors team. I've said it before. The Toronto Raptors. Lowry's going to a team in the states that is probably the most like the Toronto Raptors in terms of their life, that style of the team, and like the culture that's built around the team. Both teams are very hardworking teams. So the fact that he doesn't want to come to Toronto, which reasonably is very similar in terms of culture and style to the Miami Heat, and he says stuff like that, like maybe he's just not a fan of the cold, maybe he's just not a fan of like Masai, but the Raptors fans are almost grieving over losing their guy for the past better part of 9 years, and he comes in with those type of comments. I was telling these guys before the podcast started. I posted a TikTok telling Goran to fuck himself, and it got taken down for hate speech. And all I did was flip off the bird and tell him to go fuck himself, and like that got taken down. But I'm not the only Torontonian that's thinking that. Like that guy is not going to play for us now because he made those comments. So I guess he gets his wish because there's no way Masai's keeping him on board. Do you guys think he's going to stay any part of the season, or do you think he's already gone?
I'm really
No.
surprised that.
They kept Kawhi.
Well,
He
I'm
wanted to
really,
go there though. But go
I'm
ahead,
really
Johnson.
surprised
Sorry.
that DeRozan and Lowry didn't try to team up. Like there
Yeah,
was a lot of rumors around that.
let's be honest, the Lakers didn't have enough money to pay them both, and and I don't think DeRozan. I think DeRozan's kind of over Lowry. I don't know. It's weird, man. But yeah, I wanted to start off with that because honestly, I think that's been pissing me off for the better part of a week. Just like just
Just to let it go, huh?
just I needed to let it go exactly. But I guess next thing we'll talk about is we have the Bulls super fan,
Uh,
motherfucking Pat Williams.
has
Oh,
arrived, baby.
why do you think he's popping off so hard in this year's post summer league?
Whoa, pause. Well, I feel like he's got more of a leadership role on that young group of the summer league guys, but also he's got experience in the FIBA slash Olympics. The I believe it's under 19 or under 20
Yes, sir. And he
team.
played with them when they were practicing for like tryouts and stuff. He tried out for the actual team, I think.
Yeah, he made the select team, the USA select team, which is
Okay.
the team that the Olympics they play each other. They pretty much give the Olympic squad a tune-up.
Hmm.
So he's been playing against high caliber players, and this is a guy who was chosen number 4. We can't forget that a lot of people didn't think he was worthy of that slot, and it's
Exactly.
looking
Not
like
this
he's
guy.
starting to. Yeah, looks like he's starting to progress, and show everybody why he had the potential, and he's capping out on that potential. When I watched him, he looked like LeBron in the summer league
Yeah, and I totally agree with you.
on that level.
And I agree with your point about the defense. And one of the guys I watched, the homie KOT4Q, a longtime subscriber I am, he made a comment because he's a Super Bulls fan as well. I don't know if you know that, PD. You should look him up. He's a really big Bulls fan. He's been a Bulls fan probably as long as you have. He was
Nice to meet you. We're best friends now. But
exactly.
continue.
He was saying that these guys that have been they've played in the NBA or they played in the G League or they've done a season in the regular year. They've guarded big guys. Like they have like the experience. Even one season guarding guys like KD, Kawhi, all these superstar players. They go into a G League situation. They're
It gives
like
you a lot of confidence. Like even
exactly.
summer league.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And even more local. My younger cousin, he just visited us. He's 18. I was taking him to the outdoor park, and he's a guy that plays on prep teams, rep teams, and he went to the outdoor park, and he was just cashing and yakking shit up because when you go against talent that's not the talent you've been used to, you have the green light in your head to go, let's just fucking go for it. Let's take 20 shots. Who cares? And I like that because Pat Williams, this is a good chance for him to make a difference on a Bulls team that's becoming a contender.
Well,
Like
that's what I wanted to point out as well. Is this Bulls team is going to have if there was a theoretical award for biggest turnaround, it's definitely going to be them. They have the opportunity to
facts.
be this year's Atlanta Hawks, that went to the Eastern Finals.
PD, do you like
But
that reference?
No, our starting five's already better, but continue.
No, I'm not saying they're not better. I'm saying that
Yeah,
like
no, I just want to trigger Atlanta fans. It's okay.
Oh
I
I'm
love
my.
saying
Trey Young.
they have the opportunity to be like how they did this year.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I agree. Make a
um,
run. That's
Because
I
yeah.
agree.
it's a good Atlanta
But
reference because Atlanta they did a pretty
who
good
who was
turnaround too.
the coach they got rid of? Jim Boylan, I believe it was.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
They absolutely hated him, and I referenced this in an earlier podcast. Him and Zach Levine got into it, and the next game, Zach Levine went off for like 47, 48,
Yes.
and
He like made a show of him at practice or something, and yeah, that's
he pretty much said,
Yeah.
"Hey, it's either me or this guy," and I know y'all don't want to get rid of me,
Exactly.
but that's who I feel best for because he's got some people around him now that he don't have to shoulder the load as much,
Exactly.
and that roster rounded up really nice.
For
I thought
sure.
that Lonzo Ball transaction might be the best there is because Levine's a transition player, and so is
Yeah.
Ball. Williams is a effective transition player. They've got a scary young team in Chicago.
Do you think that Lonzo is now one of the higher caliber point guards in the league, boys, or do you think he's still fighting to step in the door of that conversation?
Well, you have to remember this is a number 2 overall pick, so there's high expectations. But I've always thought Lonzo's had the skill as far as point guard, just pass first type
Yeah, exactly.
ability.
Playmaking,
Uh,
playmaking.
He has all-star caliber talent. It's just whether he performs and the pieces around him can help him.
Yeah,
If he can make his teammates better, which is a great quality for a point guard to have, and he does. But with this talent, it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds.
and most people consider him one of the best point guards on the fast break, and I would honestly agree. When you see last year, when you saw Lonzo with Zion, a lot of their buckets came from Lonzo passing deep oops or deep
Oh yeah,
outlet
full
passes
court
to
passes.
exactly. And you know what? That's the type of pace of play that I know Jazzy and I playing 2K and especially Lance, we love to run fast break. And fast break ball is an integral part of basketball because let's be honest, most of the time the shot clock doesn't get used up in NBA anymore. And
If
having
you
that fast break is huge.
if you have the talent and the personnel to run that style, then it's hard to beat.
It is very hard to beat. Um, I guess Petey, this is for you for the Bulls. Is there anything that they can do with Lauri Markkinen, or is that now just a piece that they can trade for more pieces?
Well, I've seen anything from him going to Charlotte in a sign and trade, and we get in a perfect world a piece like PJ Washington, maybe Miles Bridges, but
Some more
personally,
athletic young talent.
Yeah.
I personally think he's going to be on the team for another season, and it's probably not going to end that pretty, and he's just going to
That won't be
leave.
good for Chicago because his trade value will go
Will go
down if he's
down.
not playing and performing. I've actually
Yep.
heard rumors that he wants to play in Dallas with Luka and Porzingis. I don't know if
Ooh.
it's necessarily the international flavor or if it's just that he likes that pairing.
Oh, I think it's
But
definitely the international flavor. Kleba,
Maybe both. Yeah.
Porzingis, Doncic, another white guy that could shoot.
Boban, they got
Boban.
Boban,
Oh man.
Bobby.
Oh, speaking of trade value and value in general going down, this is something that everybody's heard of, but it just has to be said. This man, motherfucking Dennis Schroeder, sold the
Wah,
fucking
wah,
bag.
wah.
Oh my god. He went from getting offered 21 mil a year for 4 years for a 4-year 84 mil. He signs a 1 year with the Celtics. Now, is it the Celtics getting a good player for a good value, or is it a player just looking for a team because he knew he sold the bag?
I definitely think that Schroeder fumbled the bag, and I'm not sure who his agent is, but whoever that is, they need to
Needs
be
to be
fired.
fired.
Needs to
Oh
be
Yes.
my god.
cut.
After this man's
Not even on the
job.
bench.
Oh
Cut him.
my goodness.
And kudos to the Celtics, right? They needed someone to replace Kemba because Kemba's not coming back next year. But
The Celtics are good at getting value for cheap.
and I
It's
don't
true.
think I don't think it's like the same thing as the
Brad
Lakers,
Stevens
right?
in the front office now.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like a Lakers situation because honestly, the Celtics aren't at that caliber yet, like a LeBron-esque type. And again, you know what? The Celtics have very good talent, but I just still can't understand how poor decision making. Like this is some of the poorest decision making from an NBA player that I've ever seen. In terms of just free agency, because holy fuck, just take the money next time because he'll never be worth that much again, ever. He
I
will.
wonder, like, how big the bead of sweat was on the forehead of the Lakers front office that they just wiped off in, like, the sigh of relief.
That's a good point,
They-
Petey. They
They almost paid
dodged
this
the
man
bullet.
so
Dodged
much
a big
money.
bullet.
And it wasn't
that would have
even
messed
them.
up their whole plans.
And it wasn't even them that dodged it. He literally shoved them out of the way. Like, oh, yep, don't worry, I'll take this one for you. And he just, oh man,
The fact that he thought he was going to get 100 million in free agency, and he didn't. Like, there's got to be some kind of communication going on between him and his agent.
for sure.
Of
He's a good
for
player,
what
but
he
he's
can
not
get.
worth that.
The
Yeah, he's
craziest
definitely not
part,
worth that.
the craziest part is he wanted an extra 4 mil a year, which compared to 21 mil, adding 4 mil on top is like icing on the cake. It's something that he wanted, which he didn't need, and instead
Now he's barely getting 4 mil.
now he's taking a 15 mil pay cut for the first year. So compared to getting 21, he's getting 6. And that's the fucking oof of the day. Because that's a fucking oof.
The only thing in his defense that I would like to say is he had a pretty good playoff run. Because he did have, he had some moments. I'll say that.
Not in the finals. Not in the final. No, oh, not
Yeah,
sorry. Not. Wait, what? I'm so. Wait a minute. What? No, no. I'm
no,
getting my facts mixed up. No, he didn't even make it past the first round. No.
exactly, but that's what he had some moments. I'm trying.
That's a
I'm trying to
stretch.
be nice to the man.
Man, I'm
But
flexible, but that's a stretch I can't even do. God damn. I think
oof.
we got to move on after that one. But
Yep, let's continue.
the next one. Yeah, next one. People were really amped, and I watched this game and I really enjoyed it. Cade versus Jalen Green, Houston versus Detroit. People were saying it's one of the most hype and one of the most realistic summer league games that will translate probably the most to the NBA. Jazzy, as a lifelong Detroit Pistons fan, what did you like about Cade's performance, and what do you think that people are looking at like, oh, maybe he needs to start doing this more or this more? What did you think about his performance against Jalen Green?
Well, I like the dynamic of him versus Jalen Green because there's a chip on Jalen Green's shoulder who thought he should have been the number one pick, and there's also a chip on Cade's shoulder who you know thinks he's worthy of the number one pick. So they were guarding each other. They were D'ing up, and it was a nice game as far as I like what Cade has been doing as far as proving that he don't have to go right away at scoring and make that his main issue. He's trying to prove to the team that he can do it all, and like his main focus is winning. It's not about him. But
Now, do you think because Jalen, and this is for everybody, you think because Jalen Green was part of the G League that he has an extra step up on Cade, at least for the beginning part of this year going into the regular season? Or do you think Cade is just having a little bit of a fumble at the beginning because he's nervous? Because again, Jalen Green is fucking coming out guns blazing. People are calling him Michael Jordan with hair in summer league because he's pulling
Oh my
up and
god.
he's popping off. Would you say that Jalen Green is doing better than people expected? Cade is doing worse, or do you think it's too early to tell?
I don't think either of those are the thing. I think like if he does have any advantage, it's that the G League scheduling. Like that Jalen Green's more used to the scheduling as
Yeah,
far as transitioning to the NBA.
for sure.
But
What do you,
I feel it's as good as Jalen.
man? Jalen Green again. The chip on the shoulder is huge, but a lot of people were
I
saying that.
still take Cade over Jalen
Oh, for
personally.
sure, for sure. And people are saying this game is probably going to be the most realistic to seeing these two teams meet up in the NBA because people are kind of memeing that these are basically the teams that we are going to see come October because there's not much that's going to change. Both teams don't really have a type of veteran leadership. So we're going to see this matchup. It's almost going to be the exact same lineups that are going into the regular season.
Well, it's not exactly the exact same lineups because there's a lot of people out, but those two guys are going to be doing a significant part for their teams.
For sure. For sure.
They won't be more of like a role player, like Pat Williams, for example. He's the star of the Bulls in summer league, but
Yeah,
Probably our
for the
fourth
Bulls,
option.
yeah,
yeah, he'll be more of a role player.
for sure. Do you think Houston or the Detroit Pistons could make it close to be a playoff caliber team, or are they still 1 or 2 years away?
I mean, I'm biased, of course. Like I want us to make the playoffs, but at the same time, I think we need to tank to get more talent. But I definitely don't see Houston winning a lot of games just because, like you said, most of their guys that's in the summer league, that's their team pretty
Yeah,
much. So
exactly. Now I'm going to be a little selfish right now. I'm going to talk about Scotty Barnes. And Jazzy, you were right. You were definitely right. Scotty
what do
Barnes,
I say about him? I said he
he
can
said,
do it all, but he's mainly a defender and a rebounder.
man, his IQ looks awesome. He scored
Yeah, he knows how
18
to play the
points.
game.
He got 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals in his first G League game. It was an impressive showing, and he has the IQ. You could see it in his face. You can see it when he was playing. Do you guys think that the Raptors might have found that sleeper in the draft?
I wouldn't say the sleeper because it's hard to be a sleeper pick at number 4.
No, because I'm saying obviously he wasn't projected to be anywhere close to top five, let alone the fourth. Do you think the Raptors
He
might have
was he
snuck
was
away?
projected like 6 through 10,
Yeah, that's a
but
fair point.
as far as somebody, I mean, I know you were set on Suggs, and it's hard not to be because his skills translating for sure.
And he's
That's the
popping
one
off
thing I
too.
always say: the skill has to translate. But
It looks
Scotty
like
Scotty Barnes has the intangibles. He's got
yeah,
the defense. He's got
he's
the
got the
length.
He's got the Raptors style of play, like almost down to a T at this point. Because let's be honest, he looks like he's gonna fit their system perfectly.
He's kind of like a Draymond Green, and he's got potential to be an all star. Like he's got a similar game to Draymond Green, except he's better rebounding. He's better defensively.
And for those who
Maybe not
watch the
quite as skilled in the assist, but he's got
live
it.
stream, that's exactly who they compared him to when and during draft night. And I was a little nervous, but if he can compete at the level he is right now, him and Malachi Flynn are looking like a very good future. Oh, and also breaking news: the Raptors signed Isaac Bonga last night, which is an interesting pickup because he's played for you.
Puzzling.
Yeah, and I understand the theory because he's a tall guard, but at the same time, he's been on two teams,
Pretty
and
sure he
both
played with the
teams
Magic.
he played with the Lakers. He got drafted to the Lakers, and then he went to the Wizards, and now
Oh,
he's on the
Wizards. I was
Raptors.
thinking.
Do you think the Raptors can pull a guy like Bonga out of obscurity and make him a decent player, or do you think he might be one of those guys that just never really does anything after the first few seasons?
Personally, I feel like the Raptors have a good, like you said, they have a good culture, and they're known for making. They're not quite as well known for making players out of like San Antonio does, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But they got a perfect example in Fred Van Fleet, came from the D League. I mean, you can do it all.
Ready.
Get the most. If I'm not mistaken, he's got the most
Points in a
the
single
highest
game. Yep.
no, definitely the highest contract for a
Yeah.
undrafted player.
Yes, he does. My boy, Mr. Van Vliet. I love that guy. One of my favorite Raptors. PD, Scar, anything to add? What do you guys think of? What do you guys think of anybody else on your favorite team that's popping off?
Yeah, I love Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
Every rookie is looking great.
Honestly,
Honestly.
yeah. And the thing I told Jazzy too, but the thing I love about Scotty, he was so hyped to be drafted to the Raptors. He was hanging out downtown, just taking videos with fans. Like that type of shit is really nice because Jalen Suggs, from what it seems like, basically threw his practice with the Raptors so that they didn't draft him. So to see a guy that wants to play for the Raptors and he looks like he's already ready to go, I like that. That in my
There was
mind,
nothing but ugly reports on Suggs coming out right
yeah.
before the combine, so I wonder
I'm pretty
what
sure
his motivation was. But
yeah.
I feel like he had a set destination he wanted to go to.
Yeah. Going to a team like Orlando, pairing up with a guy like Cole Anthony, they're a young team now. Like they don't really have a direction, so it's good for guys like that just go and pop off, kind of like Shea did. If Shea went to an OKC team, kind of in the depths of obscurity, and he now is one of the best small forward shooting guard comp like guys, and he can do everything, and he's had the chance to thrive. So
I
I
seen on Instagram that Jalen Suggs and who is it? Oh, Jalen Suggs and not Cole Anthony, but who's the other guy? Oh, RJ Hampton.
mhm.
They both took an Instagram photo, and then underneath, like Cole Anthony commented on it like he was butthurt, like he wasn't in the photo.
Man, Cole Anthony, again, speaking of this sophomore, he's gonna do good things. You can already see he's got that killer mentality. So I hope again, like I said, I think this draft class is it's true what they say. It's one of the deepest, and it's gonna be fun to watch the first couple regular season games and see how these rookies are getting played. Because obviously some will get played more than others based on the quality of the team, but I'm really looking forward to it. On to other things. Let's talk about Charlotte, boys. What do you guys think about Charlotte so far? Because I think
Kai Jones is scary.
Sky, yeah,
The dunk
literally,
machine.
literally, the man is a monster. And I was watching the highlight, and I'm putting it on the screen right now, of him absolutely shitting on the Spurs. Just boom, knocks the guy into the freaking stand. It's just ugly for the Spurs. And me and Josh were talking
A
about
good
this in live stream
comparison for
too.
him is oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying we were talking about how athletic and amazing he's going to be. So please continue.
Yeah, he's pretty much Jared Allen 2.0, if not better. Like a rim runner, defensive player. They both came out of Texas, so there's a comparison there.
For sure. And you know what? Like I said, like he's been a type of guy that we've seen from the beginning. Like we knew he was going to be athletic, but But again, the poster that he did and the athleticism he's shown with the IQ he's given, he might be another guy that like really pops off. And honestly, I feel like who was it? He got traded from. He was a pickup by the Pelicans who got immediately traded to Charlotte or something. I think whoever gave him to Charlotte is going to
The
completely.
Knicks. I think the
Yes,
Knicks
the
let him
Knicks
go.
are going to regret their decision because he looks like a hooper, and he will pop off on Charlotte. He will do really good things. But another thing about Charlotte, they got the other Ball brother who's actually been looking pretty.
Jello.
They've been like the Charlotte the summer league team is looking very competent. They got Book Knight, they got Kai, and they got Leangelo, who's actually putting in some good work. Can Leangelo pick up an actual contract now?
There's
I,
already reports of tampering with LiAngelo Ball
Of
and
course there
rumors
is.
of
Of
that.
course there is.
So apparently there are teams out there reaching out to him as we speak, as this man
there's
is on the
other
floor.
teams wanting to sign him.
Yes, that's rumored. I don't know.
I feel like, of course, he's going to stay with Hornets, though. He wants to play with LaMelo.
For sure, for sure. But you know what? The tampering this year, like I don't know where the league gets their information because again, they were talking about tampering with Lonzo. They're talking about tampering with Kyle Lowry. Can someone look at Jason Tatum and talk to him about tampering? Because motherfucker was on the U.S. team, like trying to recruit Bradley Beal and fucking half the team. Like, where's the tampering there? It's because they're overseas. Like, fuck.
I've also seen where Damian Lillard and Draymond are recruiting each other, vice versa.
It's you know what? Again, the league can't even do anything now. Like,
So it's a wild, wild west out here,
dude,
folks.
where's LeBron's tampering, bro?
I was
LeBron's been
about to.
tampering since 2007. Like,
That
LeBron
All
might as
Star
well-
game.
Yeah, for real, the All Star game.
bro, LeBron, he's gonna be an amazing agent when he retires because he's just gonna know every single person and just be like, "Yo, come play with my boy." That's it. It's LeBron telling you, oh my god. And then now Kyle Lowry and freaking, it's just, holy shit. Is there even a way for the league to demotivate teams from tampering? Because honestly, what are they gonna do? They're not gonna revert the trades. They're gonna give him a slap on the wrist, take away a draft pick or two. But at the end of the day, if teams are trading for shit like that, they don't really give a crap. So, do you think the league's gonna just keep doing it, or do you think they're gonna just try to like be like, "Hey, don't do that"? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. What do you guys think?
Well, I think they should just let it happen and stop pretending to actually like look into it
Yeah.
because they're so selective each year with who they actually pinpoint
Yeah.
their just and focus their aggression towards. And yeah,
And it's even like dating back to Chris Paul, right? The league vetoed the trade, and people still have
Yep.
a sour taste in their mouth. So it's like I think the
Oh
league
yeah,
just
they didn't do anything about LeBron going to Miami.
that's
and then
yeah
let Dwight Howard leave from Orlando to go to the Lakers.
yeah.
Like,
It's just again the league is so selective with what they want to hear, and it took them 18 seasons basically to say, "Hey, LeBron, can you stop flopping, or we're gonna have to find you." So like
I
really,
also seen that they put in some new rules so that like the player can't initiate fouls as much on
oh
offense.
yes, please let me talk about this. Please,
Trey
okay.
Young rule.
It's not just the Trey Young rule. It's the James
There's a lot of
Harden
people that do
rule.
that.
It's
Yeah, James Harden.
Man, can we talk about that? Yeah. What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Because so right now, what the gist of the league is doing is simple. They want to prevent players from making just wildly not shooting forms to draw fouls. Like the James Harden jump to the side or the Trey Young get in front of you and literally jump backwards as you're shooting.
That
Dwayne
needs to
Wade
be
towards the end of
fixed.
his career.
Yeah.
They
like,
should have never started that.
now
We looked pitiful against overseas teams because they play real basketball, and we're over here whining for touch fouls. It's sad, really.
it's super sad. Like it ruins the game in my opinion because first of all, it slows it down. It super slows down the game, and second of all, the NBA fans hate it. Like it's such a shit rule, and no one likes it. But the biggest thing is, what can the league do to actually prevent it?
They've actually thought about and implementing new rules to where like the free throw shooter only gets one free throw for one to speed up the game.
Yeah,
But we already know that the NBA prioritizes offense.
for
And
sure.
the offensive player already has the advantage just based off how the modern NBA, you know,
works.
there's no hand checking. You know.
No. It's funny you say that because Devin Booker, let's be honest, the whole fucking finals, he was hand checking every single person, and he was the
Absolutely.
offensive guy, and he was the offensive guy. So, like the league talks a big game, and I'm looking at the article right now. They're trying to take out players kicking, players leaning or launching in abnormal angles, and the offensive player abruptly veering side to side or forward and back in order to draw contact. Now,
And like we said, there's several players you can think of when it
James
comes
Harden.
to those rules.
James Harden. James Harden. Oh, and James Harden. Then James
Trey
Harden.
Young.
Yep, the Trey Young. James Harden. I already said him, but we'll keep going. Fucking. I wouldn't say Steph because Steph is actually one of those guys that he doesn't really do it unless it's like a pump fake or something.
And end of the shot clock type
Yeah, like he's
desperation.
pretty good about that, I would say. But there are many players that do that. And like let's be honest, I've seen so many players get kicked in the balls on a foul and then they call it defensive foul on the guy getting hit in the nuts. It's like, come on, man. This guy's playing
Grayson
defense
Allen's
gets
resume.
exactly. Oh man. But again, apparently there's going to be offensive fouls from now on. Do you think that's going to slide for the NBA players, or do you think it's still going to be happening and the refs are just not going to know what to do?
I think that kind of ties back to the last thing that everyone was talking about as far as like players having basically the control over the league now,
Yeah,
as long as Adam Silver will let them.
yeah,
So
Kawhi Leonard, 4 years, 176.3
yep.
million.
He finally that was done today. Good, good eye,
That's
Jazzy.
smart for Kawhi because also for the Clippers because people usually want to. If you remember, he waited till last minute to sign with the Clippers and shocked everybody,
Yep.
and the Lakers it kind of screwed the Lakers.
Mhm.
it felt
So this
jaded.
kinda-
Yeah.
This kind of helps the Clippers to figure out what they can do to move forward and who they need to sign, how much money they'll have.
Oh, 100%. And again, a team like the Clippers right now, honestly, they signed Kawhi for 4 years, but if they don't do anything seriously to keep that guy in there, he's not going to stay there for another 4 years because the last 2 years they went through pandemic P and he was a god awful player, and then they went through the fucking stupidity of Pat Bev and all the other bullshit that was going on that team because that team is built nice and they still can't win, which
I feel
is
like they're one or two pieces away from a championship.
100%. And it's hard to feel sorry for them when they literally got rid of two players that were in the running for sixth man of the year.
And
Like,
it's usually a defensive big and then like a 3-and-D wing.
which is funny because they have two of the best 3-and-D wings in the league in Paul George and Kawhi.
Facts.
So, but I'll say this as well. When the Kawhi was part of the Raptors team, Kawhi wasn't the captain; he was the best player, and there's a difference. They need a guy that can come in and be El Capitan, because Kawhi, even though he's an amazing player and an android sent from the future to play
He's not
basketball, he's not
he's,
he's not he's
he's not the most vocal guy.
no. That's an
Oh my God.
understatement.
If Kawhi joined the chat,
but again, they need a vocal. Yeah, you're totally right. A guy like Kyle Lowry would have been a great fit for the Clippers.
Kawhi Lowry.
Kawhi Lowry, because Kyle Lowry is a vocal guy. Like he steps up for everybody on the team. So it'll be interesting to see if the Clippers can even make the Western Conference Finals. Because let's be honest, the West and the East this year, their top 4 or 5 teams are looking fucking dangerous. And I think we can probably talk about that too. What are y'all's predictions for Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals as of right now? How the teams sit?
biased or unbiased prediction?
Both. Let's hear both. I'm down for
All
everything.
right. Biased
It's tough to go
prediction.
against the Nets, in my opinion.
Who's
Yeah.
against the Nets in the East?
Yeah, it's hard to go against them, I think. I don't know what Petey was going to say.
But who do you think's going to face them in the Scar? Who do you think's going to face them in the Eastern Conference Finals?
I don't know. That's tough, too, really. I mean, the Bucks are going to be up there somewhere,
For
for
sure.
sure.
For sure.
But
Bucks did
who
lose
Chi-town.
knows?
The Bucks did lose PJ Tucker, and yes, we got PD the Bulls fan, but he's not honestly not that wrong. That's a very decent possibility. Jazzy, what do you think about the East? Are you convinced the Nets can do it again, or do you think they might have another year of injuries?
Well, I think the Nets were half an inch away from going to the finals
Fact.
with Durant making that
True.
3-point
Not
shot.
even half an inch. Half a pinky
Well, it should have
toe.
been a 3-point shot,
Half a
but
pinky
he
toe.
was on the line. Don't get me wrong, but
He was on the line.
if you think about it, none of this stuff with the Bucks happens if that's a three.
Well, the same
So-
thing could be said about Kawhi hitting that buzzer beater against the Sixers, right? It is a game of literally fucking pinky toes and centimeters, and that's what.
True
it's,
that, but
yeah.
I'll definitely take the Nets going to the Eastern Finals.
For sure.
Who they will face, that's kind of open, really.
Yeah, 100%.
But
I don't think it'll be Phoenix. I don't. I mean, if they did make it, I wouldn't
Phoenix
be
is
surprised.
west.
But
Phoenix is west.
I don't see it.
So-
I mean, I'm
talking
talking about in the West, their opponent.
okay. So, in the finals, you mean? Okay. Yeah, we could talk about the West. The West is dangerous too, man. The West, people always say the East is softer than the West, but this year there is a very hard case to be done because the Golden State's coming back with fiery vengeance.
Oh,
True.
Kaminga with a Kaminga.
With the Kuminga and the Wiseman and Draymond and Clay and Steph, hopefully all of them healthy because the team was really riddled with injuries. But they just
So I'm
became
going Warriors versus Lakers.
in the Western Conference Finals. I would have to
Yeah.
agree. I would have to agree because even though I love the Nuggets, and
I
I
feel like the
think
Nuggets might get to the Western Final, or they could, but
But-
it depends how it all matches up. But I got
For
Lakers
sure.
and Warriors.
Lakers and Warriors for sure. And again, this is all on the hinging of LeBron staying healthy, Anthony Davis putting himself in the gym to get healthy because Anthony Davis was getting criticized by a lot of people like Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman and Colin Cowherd that he wasn't doing enough in the offseason last year to get strong enough for the offseason going into
They
2021.
brought in the perfect piece. Westbrook is so underrated because they have a team that they need more pieces. They need more pieces, right?
Yeah,
But Westbrook's that kind of guy. You bring him in, he'll do everything.
yeah, and
You know what I'm saying?
He'll take the
paint your
pressure.
back porch.
he'll take the pressure. Yeah, he'll take the pressure off. He'll do everything.
Yeah.
You're totally right.
He's a bulldog mentality, and if they need somebody to step up, he don't mind to do that.
And I
But,
genuinely think them rounding out the roster of Malik Monk, I would just like to add, is very good. Very
A
good
nice
addition.
piece.
Fucking veteran minimums, bro. 4 in the same day. It's
And I don't
crazy
feel like
town.
their roster's set. Yeah, I feel like they're still making moves.
Oh,
But
for
even the
sure.
guys that they signed with the summer league, like Mac McClung, he pretty much can replace Caruso. He's not quite as big, but he's got a similar skill set.
Man, I like Caruso. Caruso's a guy that has really been dogged. And he
Caruso to
finally
the
found-
Bulls.
Man.
That Bulls team's
Absolutely.
sneaky good.
Fuck, man. What other teams in the West? Like I said, the Nuggets. The Nuggets have still, with Jamal Murray healthy last year. Jamal Murray as a healthy.
They did exactly what we said they should in the draft. Just get that one guy that's a glue guy that can
Yep.
do a little bit of everything.
Exactly.
Bones Highland, I think his last name is.
Mhm.
But
But honestly, they did the right thing too. Like they didn't need to change much at all. We talked about that. The Bulls already have, not the Bulls. The Nuggets already have a set lineup, and even their bench, right? Facu Campazzo, I fucking love Facu. Man. Honestly, he's a fucking dog for being like a 30-something-year-old vet. He really.
But
stepped
we are
in.
forgetting about one team that's the powerhouse in the West. The Utah Jazz.
I'm not forgetting. I'm choosing to ignore because let's be
Which-
honest, Utah is a piece away.
They made one move. I can't remember who they picked up though. They picked up somebody. I feel like it was a point guard.
I just
They re-signed Mike
Extended
Conley.
Conley. Yeah. And I'll look it up while you guys continue.
Yeah, but you know what? Again, when I say I choose to ignore, it's just because Utah's that team that everybody hyped up so much, and in my head I'm like, they ain't making it, and they didn't make it because let's be honest, I don't like their team. They don't have the mentality. They don't have the. They're not dog enough. Even though they got guys that are dogs, they just.
How about this? Out of the let's see, what is it? 1, 2, 3.
It's not Rudy Gay, by the way.
Rudy Gay, that's who it was.
Yes.
That's a good pickup for them. But out of the 12 teams that didn't make it, or actually 14 teams that didn't get in the playoffs. Oh, let's pick 2 teams that we think will possibly get to the
Playoffs this year.
playoffs this year.
Warriors. I don't think anybody can complain about that.
Yeah,
The Warriors
that's,
are
yeah.
okay. Let's do the West first. The Warriors are definitely playoff bound.
Definitely.
But okay, let's pick one more out of there.
Grizzlies.
There's Spurs,
Clippers.
Pelicans.
Clippers
No,
paid
the
the
Clippers made it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr.
The teams
Scarborough,
that
Lance himself.
give me a
Exit stage
hand.
left.
I didn't know you
Teams that are
said somebody
left
that didn't make it.
are Spurs, Pelicans, Kings, Timberwolves, OKC, and Houston.
I would like to say that the dude from Baylor, Davion Mitchell, I believe, on the Kings,
Oh, yeah.
is
Yeah.
looking nice.
I think the Kings are a playoff team
Absolutely
this year.
nice.
And I
would
love
say
his nickname. I've told Peter about this.
Yep.
His
Off
nickname's
Night.
Off Night.
there's book night on the
That's
Charlotte
awesome.
Hornets, and there's off night
Because
on the
if
Kings.
he guards you, you're gonna have an off night.
That
I've seen
guy,
comparisons to Drew Holiday, and after seeing him, it's kind of very fitting. It's lockdown.
The Warriors were either one game or a half game away from making the playoffs. Half game. Yeah, because they lost in the
they lost in
play-in
this.
or whatever.
Yeah, and honestly, the Warriors should have
and
beat
the
the
Spurs
Lakers.
were 6 games out. So that's a
Yeah.
possibility there.
But the Spurs lost their guy DeRozan, so I don't even think the Spurs are going to become touching close. I think
And
to
then
be,
the
I think the Kings and the Warriors are making playoffs this year.
I don't know about the Kings, but I'm gonna go with the Spurs and the Warriors.
You're going
But in
Spurs
the
and
Eastern
Warriors.
Conference, Eastern Conference, Indiana got beat in the play-in game rather.
Yep.
And then there's the Hornets, Bulls, Raptors, Cleveland, Orlando, and Detroit.
I think
I think the Pacers got a chance to get back in.
I think the Hornets have a very good chance because their team
Yeah,
is so
out
young.
of all those, I'm gonna go with the Hornets and the Bulls, not even the Pacers.
Yeah,
Just
I would
because,
agree.
like you said, the young talent, and then especially the Bulls, they're gonna be the biggest turnaround.
I could be like, the Raptors are going to do it again. We're going back to the. But again, I'm not going to do that because obviously it's going to be tough. So if I were going for a safe bet, the Bulls and the Hornets are probably two teams that will make the playoffs. Like the Bulls, if they don't make the playoffs, they need to fire the entire staff. Everybody gone. Scouts.
And the Bulls have good coaching as well. They got Billy Donovan and Mo
Yeah.
Cheek as the assistant.
The first time we've had a competent front office in years, fellas.
Fucking fact. Thanks, Jerry Krause.
Oh, thanks, Gary Pax.
I really hope
Thanks.
Detroit lingers around the 20 to 22 wins, so we get a high lottery pick.
Yeah, bro. Oh my God, what is it? You would be going
I
for
really want
Chet
Holmgren.
Holmgren, and then the next year, dude. I think we can finish off with that actually. Chet and Victor, the next two.
They're the
free-
next up unicorns.
Jeez, man. Both of them. Chet 7-1 and probably not done growing, and Victor Wembanyama is 7-3 and probably not done growing.
And they both have guard set skills.
They're both good dribblers. They both have good shooting. They both have great vision for the
Look
game.
out for Chet at Gonzaga this year.
Jeez,
Gonna make
man.
a lot of
Gonzaga.
noise.
Oh my God. I hopefully
That's
I get to
so
watch
scary.
Timmy. I love Timmy. Timmy. On the
Fun fact: him and Jalen Suggs actually played together in high school at Minnehaha,
wow,
which
man,
is actually the name,
that's funny.
Minnehaha,
But
It's
yeah,
even better.
Minnesota.
Chet's a dog. Chet and Victor are dogs, and they're both defensively fucking amazing. Like what Victor when Victor Wembanyama faced Chet in the U19 Olympic basketball finals.
Yeah, France versus U.S.
Yeah, he
U19
was-
finals.
He had 4 blocks at the half.
It's one thing watching highlights on a player, but when you get to watch the full game and see the full perspective from the courtside view, it's something else. You really can see the talent standing out. And
Oh, for
in that
sure.
game, Victor didn't have as much help, but he stood out more than
He's-
Chet.
Oh,
But
for sure.
they're equal as far as skill set and length and defensive abilities. My goodness, the amount of blocks between them both was something
Incredible.
crazy.
Something crazy to watch. But again, I'm honestly just looking forward to October because watching the summer league is great. But again, I'm ready to go back into basketball. I think people got a little bit greedy this year because of basketball it was fast-paced season. Boom, 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 boom. Game
And I'm
after
glad
game.
summer league is back because this is the first year it's back since COVID, and
Yeah,
it really helps these younger players mature and get confidence
for
leading
sure.
into the league. It's like a filter to the pool,
Exactly. And you know what? Again, you have most of the time you have your teammates around you too. Like guys that aren't playing, like LaMelo Ball, are still there to support the team, which I really
At
like.
courtside. It's also like you said, it's a place to be. Like
It is.
Thomas and Mack Center, and it's in Vegas,
Mhm.
so a lot of athletes show out. Sometimes like big time players like LeBron go watch if
Mhm.
they got somebody he thinks can be a useful piece. like
Speaking
THT.
speaking of Vegas, I guess last thing before we wrap it up today, who do you think the next expansion team is going to be? Because the NBA is tight, tight on the tits of adding another team to the league. Do you think the NBA
Well,
is going to Seattle or to Vegas?
I don't think they'll go back to Seattle, but just because it already failed, and like you said, it's Vegas. Well, like I said, it's Vegas. The money is there. That's where it's the betting capital of the world. Also, it helps Vegas aside because they've already got a football team, so there's a proven model of success there.
You know what? Again, that's the one thing I think people can say that was okay about the the COVID pandemic. The league decided to add the play-in, which honestly I thought the play-in tournament was great, but
I
also
liked it, but LeBron said, he didn't care for
for
it.
sure. But LeBron's LeBron.
But they
LeBron
they
at
wouldn't
this
they
point,
wouldn't have made the playoffs if they didn't have it. So it's funny that he was complaining about it.
that's the thing, right? Honestly, they shouldn't have made the playoffs because the fucking refs really juiced them in in that game versus the Warriors. But even besides that, I do like the idea of expanding because one, the league's got to admit that Canada is a cash cow for them. They're like the Raptors are still top 5 in like viewership and top 3 in sales. They bring in the money.
It's an
Well,
entire
and
country supporting one team.
Exactly.
at the end of the day, it's all about revenue,
It's all
and
about revenue. Exactly.
it's proven that, like, even though the
Vegas.
Knicks have been horrible, that, like, for example, like just their franchise alone, it always is worth the most money, even though they're not always good.
Yeah.
So if the population there is there, and the support and the fan base and the money's there, which in Vegas it seems to be, because the Oakland Raiders moved to the Las Vegas Raiders,
Yeah.
and it's the money, the betting capital of the world. It just
And
seems
the
like
NHL
a
has
natural fit.
NHL got a Vegas team, and again,
What's their team?
the
Sabers?
no, it's the Knights, and
Knights. That's
that
what it
team
is.
And
made
they
it to
already
the
won a championship
no,
too, right?
they made it to the NHL finals their first year of existence and lost to the
Okay.
Washington Capitals.
Sad.
And
But
the
like,
NBA has added new teams in the past, as we've seen. Like,
mhm,
so
Vancouver.
it's not out of the
realm of possibility.
correct.
And again, I think the biggest thing is too is like they're gonna have to do two teams, right? They're gonna have to do one in
Shout
the
out
West and
to
one in the
the
East.
Charlotte Bobcats.
Fuck man. Oh my god, I haven't heard that name
The
in
worst team
years.
ever.
The worst team ever. Gone before their time.
Handpicked by Michael Jordan,
Oh,
the
yeah.
GOAT himself.
That was
But
the real test run.
but again, like I really want to see a Sonics team again because the last
I
time,
would love to see basketball back in Seattle. Jamal
yeah,
Crawford does the crossover league there, and it's a big pro am league.
yeah.
Let
And,
him own the team.
yeah, I mean, in a great world,
Yeah, but again, you know what? It's almost a guarantee that Vegas is going to get a team, right? Eventually. Like, it may
I
take
just don't
five,
see
10
them
years.
bringing basketball back to Seattle in the NBA.
Yeah.
And change isn't always a bad thing. Like, expansion is good for the league.
Oh, for sure it is. For sure it is. I think it's just hard it's going to be hard for some people to see it as like a boost. But again, I can see a team in San Diego. I can see a team in Vancouver again because again, Canadians love basketball. Like you look at like some countries that like in China loves basketball, but Canada is really popping off on the world scene in basketball too now. So like I
Yeah, they're
don't
on the upcome
for sure they are.
uprising.
They're being led by guys like Jamal Murray, Chris Boucher, like even the guys that
There's a
aren't
lot more Canadian
Wiggins, if he actually
basketball
plays.
athletes.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, sorry, Jazzy, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm bringing up
That's okay.
Canada. I'm getting patriotic. But I guess, boys, before you leave, if you had to pick one city in in Canada, U.S., wherever that should get a team, we'll start with Jazzy. Where would you like to see a team go? Or I guess, yeah, your favorite place for a team.
Well, it's hard to say like against the Vegas idea, but just because it all makes sense as far as the monetary value. But I'm an East Coast guy, so of course I want a team in the East Coast.
Yeah.
Maybe in Pittsburgh, that's close to us. That would be kind of cool.
Scar?
I mean, I agree with that. Pittsburgh would be awesome for us, but you can't. I feel like they can't fail in Las Vegas with all the people, all the money going through there.
Yeah, it's the
So-
betting capital of the world. Petey?
Yeah.
The stadium that they just built for the Raiders and the symbol of mediocrity in the NFL. go to Vegas. They're gonna
you,
get paid.
you know what? If I'm not being biased, because bias would be Vancouver, I gotta say Vegas as well. And
But
with
I would
the
love to see a
NBA
team in Vancouver.
the
That'd be great.
NBA loves teams in Florida for some reason.
they
So,
do, San Diego's is like number 4 on
or
the
we can
list.
make another Los Angeles team.
Fuck.
There it is, San Diego.
Hit him like the
Bring
hit him like
some-
the Knicks and the Nets, right? But guys, I think that's all for today, everybody. Again, thank you to our honorable guests, Mr. Scarborough and Mr. Hilm PD, aka PD. I'm your host, Peter the Rock, with your boy Jazzy Main.
Yes,
We're
sir.
signing out. Everyone have an excellent night, and make sure to follow us, subscribe. We're gonna hit you guys with another podcast really soon. Peace, everybody. Have a good one.
Peace.